Good times, my fellow humans. If it is not good, then it's about to get better. Welcome to the Be Different podcast. My name is Nekesa Ochieng, and I am glad to have you here.
Letter from Mama Warembo to her 18-year-old self. Hey there, sunshine. You are gorgeous, unique, loved, multi-talented, a daughter of the king. Wow, 18 years. 18 beautiful years. Who would have thought a whole you? It can only be love. I know you have many questions and less answers, but I dare say I am so proud of the lady that you are. Tall, a leader par excellence, smart, discovering yourself yet whole. You have let many voices speak into your truth. Silence the noise and figure your path. Take it boldly and unapologetically. You have a generation to impact. I know you feel like you don't fit in, but that is exactly where you need to be. Different, the road less taken, a path unique to you. Treasure each season. Stop and just experience it. Be allowing of yourself. Each experience will mold you most beautifully. Obviously, you're carving a path for your life, career, relationship, your spiritual journey, but be allowing of experiences because they can only mold you. Change your mindset of what is for you, what is in it for me. Think bigger. How can I be there for others? How can I cultivate a new culture? Ordinarily, 18 years ushers you into a very new dimension. Finally, you are done with your education, your primary education, and your secondary education. You have a new sense of freedom. I know you haven't had that much exposure to the world in terms of boys, money, and freedom and alcohol. Growing up, it's always looked glamorous to be an adult, like they're living their best life. But don't be fooled. It's all a facade. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Don't water down your experiences, living in the leafy suburbs, the best education, and all your privilege. There will be dark days ahead. Nevertheless, you will pull through stronger, forgiven, healed, and loved. Live unapologetically. Have that one confident. Sex is beautiful in marriage. You will enjoy it and have a fulfilling experience. Wanaume wasikufrustrate. Not everybody is deserving of your energy and of your goodness and kindness. Be kind to your body. Honor it with purity. You are enough. Your character shines. You have been brought up exceptionally well. You are missing nothing. You are deserving of all the good. Exert your talents and strengths. Live out loud. Never dim your light. Live unapologetically. You possess greatness within you. Go and do the most. Never play small. Your stage is for presidents and kings. Dream big. Cancel those limiting thoughts of negativity. You are you have been blessed with good health and a sound mind. Your past should not dictate your future. Live, sweetie. Stop with the rebelliousness. You are better than this. Peer pressure is real. I get it. But you do your own research and stop believing everything that you hear. Research and discover it for yourself. Imagine it's going to be all right. As you take this trip to the US, be allowing of yourself to experience it. You are deserving. Your O level results are just that, a letter and a symbol. Don't let it define you and your future. Express yourself fully in each season. Explore far and wide. Put yourself under a mentor to guide you. There's wisdom in those who have gone ahead. Form a relationship with your mother and father beyond the fear and the respect. They understand you more than you think. Your paths are very similar. Your siblings color your life. Your connection and friendship will transcend the time. They are the coolest group of people you'll ever come across, and they will stand with you in thick and in thin. And they are also very cool peeps. Friends, cultivate a culture of intentionally growing your connections and creating memories as you grow together. Jaber, be, belong, become. Here is a hug. I will hold it a little longer. Chin up, head high, chest forward. Now go. Shine your light. Be different. Love the 13-year-old you.
You don't know what the future holds, and you're so afraid of it that you're not even living in the present.
Exactly. Especially because it's already been labeled by government.
Yeah, you're an adult.
If government said 16 was the age to get, then we would feel that at 16.
Yeah.
But it's because your parents, everyone around you is just waiting. Oh, so umepata kitambulisho?
Ebu.
Yeah. And everyone is just asking you that year. Everyone is just asking you, umeapply, umepata,
Kwanza if it's an election year,
big deal,
umechukua-
right?
Yeah.
Election year, true.
It's a big deal just
Yeah.
to be able to feel like you're approaching that place. I also feel like our society, we have created that pressure.
Yeah.
And I hope maybe as parents we would understand that, okay, so you're still a child and you need guidance. It doesn't mean that when you get your ID or that document,
You automatically become an adult.
Do you know how
You are
many-
able to make the right decisions. And I
It's
remember you've also mentioned that you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that is life.
Yeah.
It is not bad. For me, even for parents who have the 18-year-olds or our sisters or cousins and nephews and nieces, when someone tells you, I want to be this, and then I want to be this 1 year later, and I want to be this 6 months later, it is okay. It is very okay. And it is the age to make mistakes. I mean, you don't want to make mistakes when you're 40.
No.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
it is the age for us to make the mistakes. Well, at least, and also what you always say, Nekesa, everything you do has a consequence. So we just make sure that we remember what we are taught from back then, from our parents, and then be free. Just make a decision. It doesn't matter if it will work out or not. You will correct it in future.
Sure.
And for me, this is how I look at parenting, because I'm very clear about my parenting role.
Yeah.
I don't own my child. She's not my property.
True.
Children belong to God. Because me, I'm a believer. That's how I choose to say it.
Yeah.
I'm merely a custodian. It's like when you tell someone, Ebu, keep these 10 shillings for me, I'll come back and get it later. So mine is just to nurture, provide, guide, give, instill some good values, nini. And then when she's ready to go, keyword, notice I'm not saying when she's 18, when she's ready to
go.
leave, then she can go.
Yeah.
But at the back of her mind, she knows I've been raised. So I won't let the universe go and raise me. I've been raised. I have my values. And then now my role from that point will be to be her springboard. So she goes, she makes mistakes, she experiments, she does this. Maybe she does law, it's not working. She comes back and tells me, Mommy, law is not working. Can we do medicine? I'm like, okay, I'm your springboard. Okay, let's go. Let's do medicine. Her constant cheerleader, her constant support system, that one person who when the world tells her wewe tunamwaka Kanairo inakuita mkutano, she can always fall back on. That is what I feel my role is.
I love that.
And
do you feel like we should then in our homes make that clear?
Yes.
That I know society expects of you. You're an adult now. When you've turned 18, you're an adult. But here in this home, you're still my child. And I know that you're going through, you're also trying to figure yourself out, and you're also trying. I feel like those are conversations that should be had at home, because then if we don't affirm them, they will take what the world
and there is so much to hear from around.
There is. there's so much to hear from there's so much noise.
Yeah.
There's so much noise. Yeah.
Yvette, one unique thing about you that you just said is that if she comes and says, I want to do medicine, okay. If she comes and changes, okay, let's go with that. Well, it's just so unique because hearing a parent being able to say that is hard. And I know that most of the people are aware or did even courses they did because their parents told them, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You have to do this and you have to go this way.
Yeah.
And they couldn't change thereafter. So they would go do either from any level, from certificate or diploma level or degree level or even master's level, and then come and say, well, I've done what you wanted.
Let me go do what
Let me go now do what I want.
Yeah.
And this is where we are meant. 18 is a confusing age. And
It
now
is.
as parents,
Yeah.
we need to just tell the children that we are with you in this, what you've just said.
And
we are with you with this, in this, and we are with you in this confusion.
Yes.
It will get clearer.
One thing we do as parents, and my cousin called my auntie out on it the other day, and I thought that was very profound.
Yeah.
She said, okay, auntie, so you're telling us so and so has given birth out of wedlock, so and so is so confused, she's doing every course on earth, so and so is moving in with her boyfriend, they're not married. So where were you at 18? Please tell us how you were killing it at 18. Just please enlighten us
so that we hear how you
because
knew
clearly you've
yourself.
had it all together all along. Why are you living our 18-year-old experiences through your 50-year-old self? You people need to stop judging, because you, just as we are, you didn't have it all together at our age. So the fact that you've gathered all this experience and all these lessons, the least you could do is understand us as we go through it. Not judge, not force us to see what the repercussions are, is to guide us through it and understand. Because you've been through it, and trust me, you are not all together the way you are right now. So I'm very cognizant of that as I raise my daughter. Because parenting requires courage, and courage is to understand that the world is evolving. So I can't see Neema at 18 through my eyes, because then what will I be? I think I'll be 36, 35. I can't see it through my 35-year-old self. I need to come down to that level and see it from where she is. So we really need to, when we see young people sometimes, because it's good to guide and it's good to correct, but let's try and take ourselves back to our 18 or our younger selves and see even just how messy we also were.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you, and also I'm trying to think of it in two ways.
Okay.
The first thing, I like the bit you said where our parents' age have this thing of comparison a lot, and you don't know how it affects, ona nani amefanya hivi, ona nani amefanya hivi, ona nani, or they use it as a means of bragging, or maybe for them it's successful when their daughter doesn't have a child out of wedlock, or their daughter is not an alcoholic, or whatever those things they say, I don't know whether they view it as that, but I'm agreeing with you on that. One, two, there's also that thing of just as a parent, not masquerading as this perfect human being was just dropped from heaven. And that's something that even came out in the last episode we did for suicide, because we were like, our children are looking at us and just wondering, if they mess up kidogo, they're like, I'm done. They go die by suicide. And yet they don't know we've done worse. It's just that we have not told you.
I think we need to share.
That's the thing.
Sorry, even where your aunt is sitting at, or my parents, they need to share what were they doing at 18. So they will give us hope. And
that's the thing we were saying.
These people made mistakes.
Now, and also now the third part is, because now I have younger siblings and I see them, and of course I was young just the other day. I look at them and I'm like, oh my God, only if he knew, only if she knew. So you also want to advise them from an angle of, Aki sweetheart,
been there, done that.
Imagine this alcohol taste doesn't change. It will stay like this forever. Missing partying one weekend, easy clubs zitakuwa. And I remember those statements being told. Imagine zitakuwa hakuna azinendi mahali. There's no need of this urgency that you need to do these things right now and then overdo it. So there's also the aspect of, you want to advise them from that angle, and maybe sometimes our parents come from that side where they don't say a lot, but they tell you from an aspect of, I know itaisha.
Yeah.
ama wachana tu nayo, like it's not even adding,
That's true.
But now, what do? These conversations are helping, right?
They
or they
are.
should be
Yeah.
able to help in one way or the other.
Sure. I just have something a little bit off, but it's still on it. And my 18-year-old self, you said those clubs are going to be there. And I remember there was this club in the CBD. I can't remember what it was called, but it's renamed to Tribeca. My dream was to go to that club. So
It
Tribeca,
wasn't there when you got money.
what happened is that when you will go, you will have to show your ID.
Yeah.
I'm 18.
Yeah.
I'm 19. We want to get to this club. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't remember.
But I just know
Unfortunately,
right
I
now
really
it
have to
became
think.
Tribeca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
It's not
I used to
I don't
say
know.
when I reached 25, because they were only taking 25. That time I'm 18, 19,
remember,
20.
it used to be
When
so
I
posh.
reached 25, I'll go to this club. 25 reached, I was not interested in clubbing.
See?
So this is why
Yeah.
the things that you desire and the way you said, the clubs will
They
will always be there. New
Mm.
ones will even come.
Yeah.
And even your desires, like
Yeah.
mine, will just totally
change.
Yeah, it will change. You'll get a different flow of life.
And you know, some people even I think it even extends to even, and this is a very sensitive topic
Okay.
because we are African.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even extends to your sexuality.
Okay.
Have we not seen people who started off dating men, and then at the end of the day they settle down with a woman? So sometimes who you are really it shifts. It shifts.
Metamorphosizes.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say it
wanted
slow so that
I
I
wanted
get
like
it correctly.
to pronounce it.
Metamorphosizes.
It
Yeah.
metamorphosizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's self-awareness bit, guys. But there's something I wanted to say, and it skipped my mind. It skipped. Actually, it did. It skipped my mind.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It
Maybe
will come
you'll
back.
remember it.
Yeah,
It will
maybe I
come
remember
back.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I wanted to ask you questions about your letters. Yeah. I wanted to ask, because what I normally do is I take a parting shot and I want to ask, so what are we doing differently?
Okay.
So what are we doing differently? We've written letters to our younger selves. I'm sure you've relived. At some point, I was like, where? This thing is going to be read and recorded. So there's some things you don't want to write, but there's some things you are like, yeah, okay, I'll write that. Yeah.
What am I doing differently? For the longest time, and even in my village, and even in my family, I was a good girl. You know, those girls for when someone is being beaten next door. Kwa nini huwezi kuwa kama Wanzu? You know?
You were the yardstick.
I was. Hey. Now I'm giving myself room to make mistakes. I think the biggest blow for me was when I became a single mom. I remember even people in society trying to cushion it and say, but she didn't abort. But she did, just because like we can't believe this good girl has just gone way off tangent. And I remember even my auntie telling me, some people are disappointed in you because of some choices you've made, but you're the one who's the most disappointed in yourself. And I wish you could find it in you to forgive yourself. I really, because I look at you, I look at how you function, how you move. You have not forgiven yourself.
Wow.
And that is something that now I do very consciously. Anytime I do something and the outcome is not very pleasing or I make a mistake, I am very gracious to myself. Very gracious to myself. There are days I wake up, because now I'm not in full-time employment, and I wake up and I'm not my usual self. I'm feeling under the weather. I'm just feeling moody. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll wake up, prepare my daughter to go to school. I'll take a shower and I'll go back to bed. And in the evening, and in the evening, I will start telling myself, "Aki, you're so lazy. Oh my gosh, look at your life." No, I'm very gracious to myself, and I wish I would have known that when I was 18.
Yeah,
I really wish I would have. So that I'm doing differently. I'm very gracious to myself, and I've stopped giving too much of myself, even to the people who are closest to me, like my mom and my friends. And I'm filling my cup first.
Wow.
So I'm very conscious on filling my cup first, even before I'm a mom, even before I'm a daughter, even before I'm a friend. And I feel like if I knew that back then I would have done so much more differently. Yeah, but that's what I'm doing differently.
Wow. Thank you, Yvette. Wow, I'm
Yeah.
touched.
That
Yeah.
auntie said a
Touched.
word.
She did.
Yeah, she
She
spoke
did.
over
I
your
love
life.
that.
Yeah, she did.
Winnie, what are you doing differently?
For me, what I will say is being in the present. I enjoy my present, and I'm enjoying my present presently. I'm enjoying my present presently, because what I find, what I found out is, maybe at that time I think I mentioned in my letter that there were really financial constraints, and for me, things like campus were a dream. We knew we wouldn't even get there. We were struggling at some point, and I kept on desiring and having anxiety. Will I ever reach this other level? And also comparing with other people who are around. One of the things that I rarely do. If I compare, it will be once in a very long time. I never compare my life with someone else's. I am comfortable with what I have, where I'm at. And I know if anything else is to come, it will come. So that letter that I was telling myself, well, I was 18, all these things you desire will come.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you may desire so much that you're not living in the present. So I'm living in the present and being content with what I have now.
Really like that.
And my desires, I know it will come. If it will come, it will come. But let's celebrate this time.
Yes.
If you're taking only strungi, let's take strungi
Enjoy your
joyfully.
strungi.
Enjoy
Yes.
your strungi.
Yeah.
Milk will come.
Yeah.
Yes, and not comparing. I think most of us women, we suffer from comparison analysis.
That's true.
So much. How's your skin? How's your body? Where do you live? What do you drive? Where are you working?
Yeah.
Do you have children?
Who's your spouse?
Where's your spouse? Who's your spouse?
Really?
Where's your
Who are you
spouse?
dating?
Who are you
Who are you
dating?
dating?
We
Yeah.
reached there.
Are you Anna?
Huh?
Please, are you
Who's
not
your
a woman?
spouse?
Yeah. Who's your spouse?
Yeah, who?
Then
Yeah. Who's
no,
your?
yeah.
Apo, atukwa, who's your spouse?
Yeah.
You've never gotten
Because
there. It
there are
happens a
people
lot.
who show up.
Yeah.
Even maybe when you're with girlfriends, their men will show up, or their spouses will show up.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, hata mi si treat wangu hivi. You know,
Yeah.
so how you get treated, maybe even you're in an abusive or a toxic relationship, and then you meet your girlfriend, they have such an awesome relationship with their spouse or their fiancés or their boyfriends, and you compare, you desire so much. So you're living your life desiring so much of what people have, that you're not even enjoying what you have. So that's where I'm at, being present and enjoying what I have.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Winnie, I like that. So what am I doing differently? I've just realized that I deliberately did not talk about the issue of sexuality. I remember when you're 18 also, there's a lot of that.
Sure.
There's a lot of pressure. Ni kama now, that's when everyone is supposed to be breaking their virginity.
Yeah. I think we were a bit fearful to start that. But that is so true. 18
I
is
have
also,
just remembered.
18 is your prime.
Yes.
And then it's a conversation that you're going to be asked every time.
Yeah.
Na bado
Yeah.
uko umeshafanya
Ati mi nisha.
na
Your
wewe
friends
and then we
conversation
ask
is going on.
ilikuwaje,
So
and
you
then
share details. Oh my God, I've just remembered. It's something I've just remembered, and I'm just thinking. I remember the pressure around the sexuality at that time, and the way I was feeling. Like I was wondering within myself, and this is those crazy thoughts. Like, is there something written on me here that I'm a virgin? When I'm walking in town, and when the men are swings, and it's just crazy. The pressure is too much, and it comes from all over.
I think that's something that Nekesa, you may consider having a conversation about, because 18, as much as we have talked about it, many people are talking about their 18-year-old self. We are encouraging ourselves, we're telling ourselves it will be well, it's going to be okay. But key thing, sexuality is
90% of your life.
90% of your life, sexuality.
And that will actually that
maybe
is true.
that's a good conversation to also start.
I have a whole story.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, and if I really want to honestly relive, my whole story was surrounded by the pressure to have sex or break my virginity. And so what I'm doing differently, that was a backstory for what I'm doing differently.
Yes.
The self-forgiveness also plays a huge role, because I also had very high expectations of myself. And I felt like I really let myself down and my parents down, and with the choices that I made around that time. And from then on, according to me, it was a spiral, which I came back to, like I came out of it so many years later, 5, 6, 7 years later, that I can actually say now my head was starting to come out of it. So for me, it was one decision that took me down through a whole downward spiral. So what I'm doing differently is I'm extending that grace to myself that I talked about, and the self-forgiveness. Because if only I was present enough to say, yes, I made this one mistake and it can be corrected, or I can just just accept and say yes, and now take a step back and now relaunch myself. The 6, 7 years I felt like I lived in a bubble. Maybe I wouldn't have that.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because I really identify with what you're saying. The regret and the unforgiveness, does it come and go even now? Does it, or is it something that you've gone past it completely?
For me now, it's totally past. Especially now, just there's nothing I cannot really say. It's just that I feel like if it's a story I start right now, we will we'll have another whole episode.
So you've healed from it completely?
I have. I feel like I have, because it's something I've mentioned before, maybe not on this platform, but I've told stories about it. And I will tell you this story, by the way, now that you've mentioned.
It's a good conversation to start.
And the pressure to break your virginity or have sex, or
it's also good for parents to be able to have these conversations, because I remember maybe sex wasn't a word that will come out of our parents' mouth.
Do they even know it?
Do they even know what that is?
Do they know it?
What is it?
Do they?
And they should know that these are the things that you need to be speaking about. These are the things you need to be speaking about anytime your girl is going to, even your boy, when they're going to high school, because a lot happens the 4 years and the 4 years after that. We need to talk about it.
But very boldly at that.
Wow, thank you guys. Anyone else who has anything else to say, like a parting shot, anything you want to say?
I would say just enjoy every season, because life goes by so fast. Enjoy every season, and every Maya Angelou, and I quote her all the time, she says when she looks back at her journey, she wouldn't change it for anything. So I don't know what other people's 18-year-old self look like, or what their journeys look like, but if you just look at it keenly, every single thing that happened to you happened for a reason, and it's just it's why you're here now. It's built you in some way. Even the tough experiences, even the good ones, they have. So in every season you're in, just take it all in, take the lessons, go through it with grace. It'll pass. And things, it just keeps getting better and better. It does. Wow. It does.
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Winnie, for coming. Thank you,
Nekesa, for the invitation. It's been an awesome time. Thank you, Yvette. I've really learned.
I've also learned so much from you guys, and from you as well. A lot.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, share with us on the socials what your thoughts are. What would you have told your 18-year-old self? Or if you were to write, what would you have written? Thank you so much for listening, and have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
It is always a pleasure to have hosted you. Thank you for listening. Follow us on the socials, Instagram and Twitter at BeDifferentKE, at I am Nekesa. Facebook is Nekesa Ochieng. Let's keep talking.